Key to birth in the past. The 15th of September 2022. Canterbury, England. Being a private eye back in the day was a rather wonderful thing that Betty English absolutely loved to do. There was nothing in the entire world like chasing down criminals on the cold rocky slopes of valleys in Yorkshire, smelling the sweet scent of water passing through an apple orchard in Kent, whilst delivering top-secret information to a secret government base, and Betty just loved the sweet salty taste of cotton candy on her tongue as she watched an unfaithful husband at a festival. But all that was about to change. Betty laid on a perfectly comfortable and warm blue hospital bed, with some very thin, almost impractically thin bedsheets pulled over her, and the cold white metal of the bed frame rested against the back of her head. She had been a lot lower on the bed before. With each contraction, she had moved herself higher and higher onto the bed. After 9 amazing months of pregnancy, Betty was finally going to give birth to her wonderful twins that had actually given her a lot of joy so far, and hopefully that would only continue. Betty smiled at her nephew Sean with his blue jeans, white t-shirt and blonde hair with stylish pink highlights running through it. He stood perfectly straight as he rested against the sterile white walls of the hospital room, and his boyfriend Harry was sitting on a wooden chair next to him. Betty was really pleased to have them both with her because if anything, in recent months, both of them had basically become her children. Especially with Sean's parents more or less kicking him and Harry out after they were attacked, and Harry had sustained a brain injury. Betty wasn't sure if she was ever going to be able to forgive her sister for that, but truth be told, with the twins coming, Betty was just glad for the support. "Don't break my fingers again, babe." Betty just laughed as she rested her hands on her baby bump, and watched her sexy beautiful boyfriend Detective Graham Adams walk back into the hospital room, with 3 fingers on his left hand fixed up. It wasn't even like Betty had meant to scream and react so much during one of the contractions. She had just focused on how the twins were acting inside her. It was only when Graham started screaming that she realized she had managed to break 3 of his fingers. A very eventful start to the evening.
"Sorry I'm late, everyone," Betty's sister Phryne said as she strolled in wearing a very wet raincoat and carrying 4 to-go coffee mugs.
Betty loved the delightful smell of the rich, bitter coffee that filled the entire room, and she was more than looking forward to the kids coming out, just so she could have a cup of coffee again. "Auntie," Sean said, ignoring his mother. Harry just hugged Sean tighter. "I've never asked how you two met." Graham just laughed and Betty just smiled. Their love story was one of an
Sample complete. Ready to continue?